Shiaght Shiaght Laa, as Babaliam was Altacher. She Robert de Carslach Mish. I'm Bob Carswell, and I'd like to welcome you to Shiaght Laa. In Shiaght Laa, Claire Shaw, Tulliu Yn Chruinnaght. More from Yn Chruinnaght, as Joe Callister and Chloe Woolley remind us of what's on this evening and over the weekend. Enna Celtic, Celtic Identity. An international film crew follow Ruth, Keggin and Isla Callister to the island as part of their project. And of course, what's on for you to enjoy over the coming week. This evening, Thursday the 30th of July, the Parish of Russian Summer Concert Series continues with the Lon Vain Ladies Choir, who'll be singing in St Catherine's Church in Port Erin starting at 7:30. Admission is free and there'll be a retiring collection, so that's a chance to enjoy the singing of the Lon Vain Ladies Choir this evening. Meanwhile, at 7:30 in Douglas this evening, the Isle of Man Arts Council's series of summer concerts continues in the Villa Marina Arcade, with a performance by Manx Concert Brass. All of the Isle of Man Arts Council concerts are free, and all are very welcome to go along to the Villa Marina Arcade, so that's this evening at 7:30 for the sound of Manx Concert Brass, and on Sunday afternoon, the 2nd of August at 3 o'clock, there's a double bill with the Crosby and District Brass Band and the Glenfaber Chorale. On Tuesday, the 4th of August, the Villa Marina Arcade will be ringing with the sound of the Manx Youth Band. On Wednesday, the 5th of August, the range of the Isle of Man Arts Council's 1929 Wurlitzer organ will be shown off by Chris Powell, who earned a place at an early age playing the Wurlitzer in the Blackpool Tower Ballroom and has gone on to an illustrious playing career. That concert takes place in the Villa Marina Arcade at 1 o'clock on Wednesday afternoon. Later on Wednesday, you can go along to St Thomas's Church in Douglas for 7:45, and next Wednesday you can enjoy the sound of John Riley and his musical friends, whom you can also join for a chat after the concert over a cup of tea or coffee and cakes. Admission is free, but a donation towards the work of the church would be welcomed. Mar Chiilshin on Shiaght Laa Jerry. Ren Yn Chruinnaght feed chyd y Sheas feed, goil taach jalun sio chai. As an o the valley force goal, herish a cawn shacht and short jit, da cared on clash and Chloe Woolley as Joe Callister, Lord Rish machiond of his tachert, when faster beg shaw, der a jaduni short jit. Ban Chruinnacht courage bun, ons from saars a chumme no emshirachek, Lorish mona in a ghoulish, sublain naichi jeg, 3 feet as hark jeg. De redden Coch Laa housed an tregel sha, as shen vanach lesh Yn Chruinnaght nis, as pertje shen courage ori trud fame. Ons na blinten toshi, van Chruinnacht gierige Downson, as we podden an Downs chit vai gierige Elia, egetoich was een fee wiesel de Yn O'Leary as Kielerna ons County Kerry ons Njerin, son rege podden Downs de chit vai een valje shen, as ons na blinten lug shen verkeerde sly as manning mi jail podden en Downs as na tjirigen Keltjach Elia, ons Kielarna son een velje pan Keltjach, as Yn O'Leary verjousen verrege en tacher shen. Na san mi lesh podden en chitvai, Njeren, Nolben, na Bretin, na Chorn, as a Britain, van Chruinnacht, zoals de jachten de Geli. Gen als je de grij na rauw tachert en Elia on, yes, ach, verdouns vies kan child in Chruinnacht. Ach, lesh boel chit de wei dungeons from sa, we pelen ein, de chummel en Elia. Ach, we shen mai de Lewis on Downson na grawi ro vice on Quirich en Kjoli. Ach, eis wat Garry troggel a lochen snauw of old was troggel en pelen, as mar so henksjen ons in a jeshen gus putni hinja, as lesh a halje keed blain, wa cared on cummel Quirich en Kjoli, lesh she and fee by. Yn Chruinnacht Celtic Gathering 2026 started on Monday, but as Chloe Woolley and Joe Callister tell us, it's by no means over yet.
We finish up on Sunday the 2nd of August. Peel's the main focus for the festival. We've got lots of events going on at various venues and festival friends places around Peel. You should keep an eye on our Facebook post to see what's coming up. You go to celticgathering.im, you can find the full programme there. We've got printed programmes throughout the island, so you can pick one of those up. And if you follow Celtic Gathering on Facebook, you will be able to get the updates and see what's happening, which might like to take part in. There'll be sessions where everyone can join in with Manx tunes, but also with our visiting performers. So we'll have Irish, Scottish tunes. Black Dog Oven, we've got little gigs happening down there, followed by various sessions.
Black Dog are there'll be a gig at 5 o'clock, followed by a session. And then Mike and the team at Black Dog have organised some great bands. So there's going to be a Black Dog gig to 8 p.m. We have on Thursday night our now very popular sort of like Celtic variety show. Those people who've been in the past couple of years will know the format by now, narrated by your good self. And it's Songs of the Sea is the theme this year, sponsored by Fanaudry.
We've got our Noah Bakehouse sessions in Douglas, lunchtime, Friday from 1 till 2. We have our Irish band from Dublin, Philly. They play Irish music, but they've got a couple of American members. They will be leading some Irish tunes and songs and tunes from Appalachia. You can just go along between 1 and 2, and you can either join in or you can just sit back and listen and have some lovely lunch or coffee at Noah.
On Friday, we're at the House of Manannan from 12 till 2, and it's a mixture of displays and workshops. It's a format we found works really well. So workshops you can take part in free, sponsored by Soundcheck charity. And on Friday, we've got some workshops, masterclasses with Saltfish 40. So that should be really popular. Saltfish 40. Friday we're back to Keighleying.
And that's the cathedral for the mega Manx Ceilidh.
This has become a very popular night over the past few years, and in fact there's hardly any tickets left now for the Friday evenings, Mega Manx Ceilidh. That's always a fun evening. It's all Manx musicians, top class. There'll be a little breather with a bit of entertainment in the middle, but it's definitely a dance night for all the family. Great fun. So that's on the Friday evening in St Germans Cathedral. But we also have mother and daughter duo from Wales, DNA, which is Deleth and Anharad Jenkins. Their special concert will be in the Royal Chapel in St John's on the Friday evening. And that'll be a lovely selection of Welsh language song, but beautiful harp and fiddle music. Deleth and Anharad Jenkins, mother and daughter duo from Wales, DNA. And they're going to have support by young singer of man, Brisha Kelsey, who's just come back from the Eisteddfod. So she's going to share some of her Manx songs with us.
The Saturday features the second year of the produce show.
Last year, we linked it in with the anniversary. It was 100 years since the first Yn Chruinnaght type produce show that Chruinnaght had done. But we were blown away with how successful it was. So at the moment, Peel doesn't have a produce show that runs annually like it used to. It was a real success, like a community success, and we had a lot of people saying if they don't play an instrument or speak the language, it was their way of supporting the culture. There was beautiful craft works, artworks. So we've done some modifications. We've got more judges this year, so it's not just poor Adam and Sue who had to taste and judge over 200 entries last year. And that entries are open from 9 o'clock on the Saturday morning in the Corran Hall in Peel, so it's £1 an entry. We've got everything from bakery classes, flowers, vegetables this year. We've progressed into vegetables. We've got inter-Celtic classes. There's some in the middle of the programmes, and on our website, that's where you'll find the entry forms. And those entry classes that are in the grey colour, they're still the original classes from the 1925 schedule. So we thought it was really nice to keep those included. And that's a Blaine Gilger event. All the classes will be labelled with a bilingual sign, so you can find out the Manx for onions and all sorts. But that should be a really popular event. Linked into the produce show on the Saturday, we're delighted to work with Juliet's as one of our festival friends again, but she's running her session this year on the Friday at 3 o'clock. So Juliet's has got her little shop in Michael Street, and you can get tickets for this off her website. And the theme this year is inter-Celtic cupcakes, because one of the children's classes for the produce show on Saturday is just that, inter-Celtic cupcakes. So you could either go wildcard and plan your own, or you could head down to Juliet's at 3 o'clock on the Friday, make your cupcakes, and then enter them into the show on the Saturday.
And then that leads into other things that are happening around the cathedral and the grounds on that day.
Saturday is a lovely gathering of music, song and dance performances. So from 11 o'clock through till 4, there'll be free recitals. We've got young musicians from Bunscoil Rumsair, Shiaght coming down. We'll have some of our visiting acts, the Irish band Philly. There's also an American dance group coming over who have been learning Manx dances. So they do Manx and Morris, and they're called Red Wing Blackbird, and they're going to do a little performance. We've also got Manx choir Skillen Vannon performing, and there's going to be a performance by Man and Youth Dance Company, who have choreographed a new work to a piece by composer Matthew Warren. As well as that, there'll be Perryburn and Skethenjerg dance groups. Loads going on all day.
I mentioned Red Wing Blackbird there. They have been, well, some of them have been here before, and they have shown Manx dances here before.
Well, previously they were known as, and sometimes why, and they're from Massachusetts. And they discovered Manx dancing probably 15 years ago, and one of their members was using books and videos just to teach the others. And so they became like a Manx dance group in America. And they came over and performed. And this is the next generation of them. So they're very, very excited. I think there's 8 dancers coming.
Saturday is our final concert, and that's with our big act Saltfish 40. And that's back at the Centenary Centre, and they're supported by Clash Bua.
We've tried to get Saltfish 40 probably about 20 years ago. They were huge, and they are really like top of the game in Orcadian music and songs. So we're delighted that we've got them both coming over, Douglas and Brian. You'll also glimpse them in the Celtic Songs for the Sea variety show, as well as in the masterclass on the Friday.
Also, we've got the Peel Beach stage, which is new for this year. It's been brilliant to work with them. So we've got Paul Reynolds, who's leading some of the performances there, but that's a really varied programme. And obviously it links beautifully into the fact that we coincidentally finish up the festival on the same day as Peel Carnival this year. So there's a full day of music going on Peel Beach stage then. We're also delighted to be using Miller's Tale in Michael Street again. Miller's mini sessions. So for those of you who've not been to Miller's Tale before, it's a lovely little small pub in the street in Peel. It's just great, full of music and full of fun. The White House,
It's not just music and dance. We've also got a visiting photographer, and she's going to be our artist in residence. This is quite a new thing for us, but it's lovely that we've managed to get funding from the Arts Council and Culture Van and to help with a lot of these visiting acts. But we've got Grace Hannell from Bristol. She's actually Welsh originally, but she's going to put on a digital photography exhibition in the Athol Room, which is called Downs, which is Welsh for dance. And she's going to be capturing a lot of our events on camera during her few days here in the island. And she'll be doing a Q&A on the Friday afternoon in the Athol Room.
Joe Callister and Chloe Woolley, talking about Yn Chruinnaght Celtic Gathering 2026, which continues this evening, Thursday the 27th of July, through to Sunday the 2nd of August. And as Joe mentioned, that final day, the 2nd of August, coincides with Peel Carnival this year. So lots to see and do and hear in Peel on Sunday the 2nd of August, including that full day of music on the beach stage and music at the Black Dog Oven. Sa chiad chuiricioli mar aran Yn Chruinnaght Melina, va caes on Isla Callister de chit arashkas pertni hinja, ach de jaru no de rawi chitta so, heng podden de laigas en alien nis, as a chachten va ginu film je Isla clai as lord on sa tai ben. Va quir arms de lotru nis, as maso haimi shiskas kiel feather, na vis barnje ag chuudslu, as dur stuur de film rum de rau eschen son corfeischen arms a verl, ach de rau giri fregerten sa gilg, as frigre de rau de recorda pischen ons immedi glerigen son an sheliok. There's what's called a teaser online to trail a project which is being filmed at the moment, and the film crew were here in the island for Yn Chruinnaght, following two of the musical participants in the project, Ruth Keggin and Isla Callister. This is the soundtrack of that teaser, and you'll hear a variety of languages, so see if you can pick out the voice of Ruth Keggin speaking in Manx, and she also asks a question in English towards the end.
Qui sont les Celtes?
Pwy oedd y Celtid?
Céhid na sean daoine seo.
Who were living here 2,000 years ago?
Pwy a gelted?
Cys oeddech chi'n cwr enya ffyr Celtiach?
Cachan ro iet a furach.
¿De dónde vinieron?
Could I be a Celt? Could I be one of them?
Beth mae o'n meddwl I fod yn Celtid?
Tád fuam atá mar Celtiach.
Something to do with the way I look?
Am y war zon zron?
Alla fe cael gwneud am y ddillad dwi'n gwisgo?
Nodach chi fe I bentonrish der yn oltem?
An fitte vi an blas canche acum. Could it be about traditions I follow?
Could it be the legends that I heard of as a child?
Could it be in the music that I make?
Alla e fod y ddawsiau dwi wedi dysgu?
¿Tenga algo que ver con lugar donde nací? ¿O lugar donde crecí?
Or where I live now?
Has it got something to do with my ancestors?
Ser celta significa tenir una certa visió política.
Was sé rud a chin spéirdach?
Nodach chi fe bentonrish Keane Chionnet, the Keggin dún?
Potrebbe essere nel mio DNA?
Could I have Celtic blood within me?
What if I wanted to be a Celt, but they don't see me like that?
What if I don't want to be a Celt?
But people see me as one because I speak like one.
Is being a Scot the same as being a Celt?
Or simply is being Britain a Celt?
Am I the only one asking myself these questions?
That's a teaser which included Ruth Keggin, and it was made by Connemaris Media, which is an Italian company based in Calabria. But as you'll hear, this is a project of international dimensions. I had the opportunity to speak with the producer for Connemaris Media, but first with the director.
My name is Garry Keane. I'm directing a series called Triskelion, A Celtic Identity. So we're on the island filming with two of our main characters here, Ruth and Isla Callister, who are amazing musicians. We filmed with Isla in Brittany. We brought her over as part of a group of 10 international musicians from all the Celtic countries to play with Alan Stivell and to rehearse with him, and that was an amazing experience. And she spoke and brought the word of the Isle of Man with her to Brittany, and everyone listened and relished in that. So yeah, we're visiting all the countries. We're doing a beautiful 3-part series on Celtic identity and what it means to people, and how each of the Celtic countries feel and define themselves within the overall umbrella of that title.
So when is the series going to be completed, and where is it going to be shown?
This is a good question. It's supposed to be completed sometimes next year, early, probably in May next year, and broadcast by the end of next year. I would say probably September onwards. The commissioning broadcasters are RTE in Ireland and France Télévisions in France, as well as Radio Televisión de Galicia in Spain. And by the way, my name is Emanuele Galloni. I'm one of the producers. My company is called Connemaris Media, based in Italy. We are 5 production company. The Italian one is Connemaris Media. It's got a slightly Irish name, but we got Tita B in France. We have Latte Plus in Germany. We have Derkan Media in Northern Ireland, and Treboa Media in Galicia. There you go.
So it must have taken quite something to get a package of that size together. So.
It took forever. This project started developing back in September 2020, so it took 6 years to put all the people together. But I must say, since we got Mr. Keane here on board, it's been spinning it up much faster, and it's been great to work so far with him, and it's an amazing experience, and very satisfied with what's coming out altogether.
So what has been your impression then, having followed Isla and Ruth to the Isle of Man? What has been your impression of the island?
Oh, I think it's a beautiful island. We spent the whole of the first day we started in Peel and we worked our way south and all down around to the Calf of Man, and then worked our way back up to Douglas, and then we went up north on the northeast coast. It's just incredible. We were lucky enough to get breaks enough in the weather to film some beautiful landscapes, and we visited some really amazing ancient sites along the way, Celtic sites and Iron Age sites. So yeah, it's just whetted my appetite to come back and see more when this man isn't working me so hard, and I can enjoy the island and meet more people. But yeah, we're delighted to be here and delighted to be at the festival, and it's been a great experience so far.
And this is part of the project here in the Isle of Man. You've been to Brittany, so what other components have you to slot into the project now?
In terms of other places and other locations, we're going to shoot also in Ireland very soon, once again actually, because we've been there already, and it's going to be all over the country, north and south. And there's more, because the interesting bits of this is that, of course, everybody knows about the Celtic lands as in the most sort of classical ways to mean them, but there is, for some reason, beyond this area, beyond the Irish Sea, there's places, for instance, in northern Italy and elsewhere, where people, for some reason or for another, they feel they Celt themselves as well, besides not speaking a Celtic language. And that's one of the interesting things I found myself in this project, the fact that identity is a very, very fluid thing, and for whatever reason, different people in different places mean something else or something different with the same word, Celtic, and that's always been interesting labels, and this is one of the reasons why we're doing this program.
Well, good my moyo. Thank you very much indeed. Director of the project Triskelion, Celtic Identity, Garry Keane, and the producer of it for Connemaris Media, Emanuele Galloni. Joining them in sound recording here in the island was Dave Armstrong. Tommy Trace jail the be Keggin, clash and tullium a podan downs Henk by Massachusetts the goil arns and Chruinnaght Melina, podan besen message red-winged blackbird, as by Sly the jar once put ninjas on an alien Melina. Mor sampler, ren ben as state nun sit America chit thou, as vi greid ar am each and records J. Colortus rish a ninek, tra henkish and Chruinnaght nurri. Ege tre shen va mi greirish in a ninek, Catherine Iverson, a nach hier tweegish on shaw for the berg Keggin lords a gilg, as mor Arn J. Blaine the gilga va Catherine gedden chase on an overek ons brastel gilgach erlinje. Maar so fuddy, ma vissi on shows of lane show chit, the be Keggin, Jinu Shen the Jarrow. Also during Yn Chruinnaght this year was the launch of a special edition of a prestigious publication, the International Journal of the Sociology of Language, focusing on the Manx Gaelic. And this edition was jointly edited by Dr. Chris Lewin of the University of Edinburgh and Dr. Aaron McNulty of University College Cork, who led the launch. Apart from their joint introduction to this edition of the journal, they contributed an article apiece, and there are also contributions from Dr. Brija Madrill, the Director of Culture Banning, in collaboration with Culture Banning's Manx Language Development Officer and Grenada, Ruth Keggin, and a contribution by Yn Chruinnaght Banning, Manx National Heritage Curator, Nicola Toombs. There are also contributions by a number of academics, some of whom have been to the island to give the Ned Madrill Lecture and other talks about their researches into aspects of the Manx language. This is something that I hope we'll be able to return to in future editions of Shiaght Laa, as it was a very well attended and interesting event. That's all from Shiaght Laa this time. It'll be back next Thursday, but now from me, Bob Carswell, Achnish Wampeen, Robert Carslach, Sledned.